Hello Oracles! Well, the split run is finally here. Now, we have been outperforming the market for the last few days, so when the market's down in this kind of environment, a run may seem like we're pulling back, which we certainly have been looking like. However, the cup and handle pattern is still holding true, and we have some nice consolidation going on. Now, today we had a nice little run-up of a little bit over 2% gain on the day, whereas the entire market was in the red. The Nasdaq was basically flat on the day, so another wonderful outperformance by Tesla. We might see another day like this tomorrow, right ahead of the split. So, with that said, we are still holding our trends the way we have been. I told you guys I would update you. We're still holding this pattern, looking very strong. So I will continue to monitor this day by day because anything can happen, especially in the environment that we are in. The RSI is in the mid-50s, which is a good, healthy place for us to be if we are going to be anticipating a run-up. We are looking at volume probably about typical for this time of year. We had been trading around 27 to 28 million shares traded per day. Today was 21 million, but again, we know that August is usually a lower volume time of the year. And then I got my notice from TD Ameritrade about the split, giving an example of, well, if Tesla is trading at $900 and it splits after this, it will be trading at $300. So maybe TD Ameritrade just happened to be predicting the future, and we're going to be running up to about $900 tomorrow. $900 is a psychological support and resistance level, so we may end up getting close to 900 tomorrow and bouncing. Again, I'll check in the morning to see how we're looking pre-market, but that might be the levels that we kind of push around to tomorrow. Because again, when we're consolidating, that's right around the level that we have been consolidating around. Thinking if the bottom of it, the level was 840 and the top was around 940, somewhere between 880 and 900 was going to be where we are going to consolidate right in the middle. So that could be where we go to tomorrow. Again, we'll see how it trades. And then don't forget, on Thursday, we will be waking up with 3 times the amount of shares, but at a third of the price. So valuation does not change, but you're going to have 3 times the shares. And this weekend, I'm going to be doing a prediction video for splits for the rest of the decade. So I'm going to break it all down, how many splits I think we're going to have, what ratio I think we're going to split at, and some other amazing numbers I came up with as far as, multiplying your shares over the next decade and what that could actually mean for you as a long-term shareholder. Again, I'll break that down for you guys on Saturday. I just want to run some numbers through again to finalize it all before I disclose it all here. So I'll share that with you guys on Saturday. Other great information we got today, Kairav, aka a Tesla bot over on Twitter. If you don't follow him there, please do. Letting us know that VIN numbers coming out of Berlin right now are being registered in the 20,000s. So we were talking about last week in the 19,000s, now we're up to the 20,000s. So this means that the ramp is continuing. And if we can continue to monitor this, we can kind of see the speed of the ramp and how that is picking up. So thank you, Kairav, for sharing all of that. I will keep you guys posted on all of that information. And other news that I saw today actually involves Apple, but I thought about it and I think Tesla might be thinking something similar. So Apple just announced that they're going to be looking to India for more production and supplies because they're really getting tired of all the lockdowns and things that are going on in China because that is slowing down their business. They're spending so much time and effort trying to navigate those supply chain issues there. They're going to go over to India. Now, we know that Tesla had been talking to India in the past. India does not want to play ball, so Tesla has pulled out of that. But it makes me wonder if maybe Indonesia is that kind of play that Tesla is going to be doing. We know Tesla's looking to open up what they're calling an expansion in Shanghai, which is really another factory on the other side of the area. But if they're going over to Indonesia, that means they can be away from China and those supply chain issues, and then, be able to rely on Indonesia as well. So just in case China has some issues, Indonesia can pick up the slack. This is just me kind of spitballing some ideas. Some things are muddled around in my head, but it makes a lot of sense. And if Apple is going to do that, Tesla may end up looking in that direction as well. So we may end up hearing from Tesla in the near future about factories or other supply chains coming up in other areas of the world other than China. And I know that this has been a concern on many people's minds. I've discussed it with many of you in the comments as well. So this actually could be good for the stock price because that could be a little bit of a burden off of people's shoulders. And speaking of a burden coming off of people's shoulders, the big news that came out today was the whistleblower coming out for Twitter. Now, again, I spoke about it this morning. I don't really like to get into a lot of the drama and stuff that is going on because the Twitter stuff doesn't really affect the fundamentals of the company when it comes to Tesla, but clearly it's had an effect on the stock price and a whole lot of the sentiment around the company. So it is important to discuss and to look at. So the whistleblower over at Twitter, his name is Peter Mudge Zatko. He was the head of security for Twitter and he was let go back in January. So he is coming out and saying that there's a lot of the bots and the spam that are out there right now that could be created by Twitter because there's some people on the board who actually get bonuses based off of the user growth in the company. So if the user growth of the company is going up because of all of these bots that are being created, they get bonuses off of it. So it benefits them to not get rid of these bots because they will get bigger bonuses based upon the fact that these bots are there, despite the fact that they are not real accounts. So he blew the whistle on this. So this information really points to the fact that the board had no inclination whatsoever to cut down on the bots and spam accounts that are out there. And it just leads to the fact that now it looks like they may have been lying to the SEC because in their financial filings, they're stating that they have less than 5% bot accounts, but we're getting information from the inside saying that, that is not true. They had true numbers that were going on, but they hid those numbers because they were getting bonused off of them. So things are starting to get quite interesting over there. It's kind of like eating popcorn while riding a roller coaster. So for me, I'm just monitoring it, seeing what's going on because of the fact that if this does not end up going through, and this is the way that Elon can get out of this deal, this means that all of the shares that Elon has sold, he will most likely be buying back in because he had said so on Twitter. So he would buy these back in, and then don't forget, he has a significant portion of Twitter stock himself. I have no doubt if this deal does not go through, he will be selling all of that as well. So we'll see how this fully plays out, but it definitely seems like, there's some cards in Elon's back pocket that he is starting to play right now. And we may see Twitter, cut the case, maybe try to make a deal on the back end, maybe lower the price. Who knows what's going to happen, but it definitely seems like there are some big signs pointing against Twitter right now, and Twitter might not have a leg to stand on. They might be in even hotter water than they anticipated. This goes back to some of the thoughts that I had previously, which are Twitter was fighting Elon to begin with on this. Then Elon said he was going to forego due diligence and just buy the company as is. And then all of a sudden they're really pushing for him to buy it. Kind of seemed like they knew they were doing some shady stuff. Seemed like they knew that they were going to get in trouble. And if Elon bought it, they can just wash it all away and get rid of it and then get themselves clean of all that. And then it was going to become Elon's problem. So now we're at the point right now where it kind of seems like that's the reality of what was going on, and Twitter's really pushing for this because why is it before that they didn't want him to buy it and now all of a sudden they're trying to force him to buy it? Doesn't make logical sense. These are things I try to pay attention to. So again, the reason I pay attention to this is because this could mean that if Elon does not have to buy Twitter, or even if they end up lowering the deal down and he buys it for significantly less, that means he might be able to dump a significant amount of money back into Tesla stock, which would run the stock price back up again. So again, trying to follow the fundamentals and not the stock price alone, that doesn't truly mean anything. But Elon coming back in, that's a lot of buying pressure. And if we're getting to a point where we have a lot of positive catalysts behind us, maybe we get past this macro environment negativity right now, we can see an even more massive run finishing off Q3 and going into Q4. And then we go back to the comments that Elon made at the annual shareholder meeting saying that one-off situations that are going on with Twitter, could be great buying opportunities. We know right after he said that there were 3 days of him selling, the stock price came down. Now all of a sudden we're getting this information coming out, seeming like this whole case and situation are starting to favor Elon even more. So this overhang could be going away, and we could see the stock price run up even more. So again, we were up 2.25% today. That's probably a little bit from the Twitter situation and a little bit from the split that's coming up. Either way, more good positive sentiment going forward for us. So overall, I like the stock performance today, going green 2.25%, still staying in the consolidation phase. We are still holding the pattern for the cup and handle. So lots of still good bullish signs going on. Still going to continue to monitor this for you guys. But again, just looking long term, because that's what a lot of us are looking at. There's a lot of great things coming up in the future. Again, I'm going to have that video coming out on Saturday, just finalizing those numbers, but when I ran them, I was like, oh, that to me is a reason why I want to definitely be a long-term shareholder and continue to add over the next decade. So again, I'll share that with you guys. And just a reminder, I will be having Dr. Jack on here on our live stream on Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll keep on giving you guys reminders on that. And if you are over on Twitter, I'll put the reminder over there as well. So again, if you have any questions you want to ask Dr. Jack, put them down in the comments below. I'll add them to the list so that he and I can discuss them. And again, it will be a live stream, so you guys can certainly ask all the questions you want on there as well. And Sophie shared an awesome video, one of those graphs that shows largest market caps in the world from 1979 through 2021. I'll share the link to that video down in the description. I'm actually going to do part of that on a live stream. It won't be this Friday, but another live stream I'm going to go through and kind of do a reaction to watching how these companies grow and where Tesla is on this chart come 2020 and 2021, to just show what growth we still have ahead of us based upon how other companies have grown as well. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Sophie, for sharing that. Again, check that out down in the description. So let me know down in the comments below, how do you guys feel about this whole Twitter situation? How do you feel about the news that came out today? Are you ones who are just kind of ignoring it and just hoping it goes away because we know it's going to go away and we're going to look at it again down the road and just say, oh, remember when that happened? And it's just going to be a blip on the radar. How do you guys feel about it? Let me know if you think this is going to help the overhang go away and now the stock price can run a little bit more, and any other feelings you may have on that. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat. That link is down in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, we do have a Patreon. That link is also in the description. Thank you so much. Have a great one.